Tonight, Dillon Whitehawk is found guilty on only one count of first-degree murder. Residential school survivors share their stories in Regina. More reaction a day after the provincial budget.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. After starting deliberations just a day ago, a 12-person jury found Dillon Whitehawk guilty on one count of first-degree murder, but not guilty on the other count. Mick Favel was in court and has the details.
A jury has found Dillon Whitehawk guilty of one count of first-degree murder here at Court of King's Bench. Whitehawk was facing two first-degree murder charges in the 2019 shooting deaths of Jordan Denton and Keenan Toto. He has been found guilty of killing Toto, but not guilty of killing Denton. A 12-person jury overseeing the trial came to the decision after 15 hours of deliberations. Over a 2-week period, a number of witnesses testified, placing Whitehawk at the scene of both crimes, and Whitehawk the shooter in both deaths. This is the second time Whitehawk has been tried for these charges.
First trial occurred about 4 years ago, and we always knew that after a new trial was ordered that there would be significant challenges associated with mounting a case of this nature 6 years after the fact and 4 years after a first trial, where witnesses' recollections and past testimonies are going to be able to be picked over.
During the reading of the verdict, Whitehawk showed little emotion, not moving or speaking. Victim impact statements from Toto's mother and Denton's partner were read in court before the sentencing, which took place shortly after. Whitehawk has been sentenced to life in prison without the chance of parole for 25 years. Mick Favel, CTV News, Regina.
A Prince Albert man who was shot in the throat trying to evict a tenant from his rental property has died. Jim Primo's family shared their story with us last year after the incident. It happened on June 4th of 2025. Primo, who was 57, suffered a spinal cord injury in the shooting. A GoFundMe was set up at the time to help his family with expenses. Following the shooting, Preston Bird was charged with aggravated assault, breaching a conditional sentence order, and other firearm-related charges. There is no word yet on whether he will face any upgrade charges. To honor the voices of Indigenous residential school and 60 Scoop survivors, a gathering is happening in Regina, allowing a space for people to share their stories. Sierra D'Souza Butts have more.
Jigabikwe has been on a journey for more than a decade trying to obtain documents from when she was born.
I was taken from Saskatchewan and then flown across the country to an American family in Nova Scotia.
It was not until her late 20s that she became aware she was a 60 Scoop survivor.
When I was a teenager, suffered mental health, addictions, all because I didn't know who I was and dealing with the traumas, not only of the former adoptive home, but just my journey in general.
She was one of several people sharing their experience at the Mackenzie Art Gallery in Regina. People also heard from a panel of residential school survivors from Carry the Kettle Nakota Nation who attended LeBret Indian Residential School along with boarding home survivors.
Majority of society is only beginning to understand about the residential schools with regards to the Truth and Reconciliation, the 94 calls to action.
The Buffalo People Arts Institute says the event aims to provide a platform for Indigenous voices to be heard and supported by the public, spreading awareness about the lasting impacts residential schools and the 60 Scoop continues to have on First Nations people.
It's bringing awareness and also bringing about the discussions, to hear the story, to witness the stories, to come together as community.
The Institute says it will continue to host events like these to help keep Indigenous voices alive. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
Hello, Sabine.
Hello.
Time for our weather look, and man, beautiful temperatures once again. Definitely in the teens for sure of how warm it was out there in Saskatchewan. Almost criminal if you couldn't enjoy it.
It sure was, Lee. It was very warm, but only in parts of the province. You know what? I'm just going to get right to it. In Regina, we warmed up to about 14 degrees here, and we did see very warm temperatures even in the southwest. Southeast, a different story. Even in the Parkland, didn't quite get up to the teens, high about a 4 or 5 degrees there, but still above seasonal. Now, that's where we're going to see a little bit of a shift. Now, yes, tomorrow is the first official day of spring, but it may not feel like it as we head into the weekend. We're still expecting above seasonal temperatures, but a little cooler, and there's precipitation on the way, which I'm sure many may not want to hear, considering they're probably still drying things out over the last couple of days. Taking a look in terms of that active weather, we did see some of that rain coming through parts of central Saskatchewan. Temperatures still quite warm. Maple Creek close to 20 degrees right now, but into the weekend, expect rain and snow for parts of the province. I'll have details coming up, though. Lee?
Thank you, Sabine. Yeah, I'm bailing out water out of my backyard today. The day after the provincial budget was released, reaction continues across Saskatchewan. Municipalities say opportunities to relieve the strain on their taxpayers is not there, while the government points to increases in revenue sharing. Donovan Mace has more.
Saskatchewan cities continue to push for more revenue options.
We're all looking for a new deal at a time when cities are really being looked upon to provide more and more. And the only tool we have is property tax.
Nothing is further from the truth.
The primary source of revenue for municipalities is property taxes, and Saskatchewan's 4 largest centres have all been forced to increase rates above inflation just to keep up with costs and meet the demand of growing social issues. Finance Minister Jim Ryder challenging the notion of provincial downloading of responsibilities onto municipalities, pointing to increases in municipal revenue sharing in the provincial budget.
You can see why I kind of take exception to this downloading nonsense. And again, anybody that's been in the municipal field for a while, experienced councillors know that's not the case. But once in a while, that misinformation gets thrown out and it needs to be corrected.
The government will distribute more than $392 million through municipal revenue sharing in 2026 and 27, an increase of $31 million from 2025-26.
The increase in the municipal revenue sharing has not kept up with the costs of allowing us to have those services.
Now, despite major urban centres making up 53% of Saskatchewan's population, just 48% of municipal revenue sharing is allocated to cities. 16% goes to towns and villages, the rest to rural and northern municipalities.
Lots of times the revenues for the province flow from outside. They flow from, for example, oil, potash, the rural areas. So services have to be provided in those areas because that's where the money comes from.
There's still work to do. I recognize that, we went through our tough budget ourselves. There are global economic challenges that we all face.
SUMA is also calling on the province to suspend the PST on construction projects, something the government says is unlikely given municipal revenue sharing is tied to the tax. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
The Saskatchewan Teachers Federation is taking a closer look at the province's education budget for the coming school year, and it's worried the modest increase won't cover necessary expenses. Keenan Sorokon has those details.
After taking a day to look things over, the Saskatchewan Teachers Federation says the increase seen in Wednesday's education budget won't be enough for students.
We're falling short, and divisions are going to be left with difficult decisions.
The province announced a more than $62 million increase to school divisions on Wednesday, but BCont says when you subtract $16 million for the 50 specialized support classrooms and $6 million for potential enrollment growth, the 2.6% increase is actually 1.7% to cover everything else.
Adding supports is only a benefit if it doesn't take away from what we currently have.
With difficult decisions ahead next year, BCont says money will need to be diverted from other places, or music and band programs will need to be reduced to cover the $33 reduction to per-student funding the STF has calculated when adjusted for inflation. But Education Minister Everett Hindley says he's disappointed by BCot's comments. Education has seen a nearly 20% increase to its budget over the last 3 years, as well as new initiatives.
We've added 500 more classroom complexity teachers. We're adding more specialized support classrooms into the province. There's more funding for supports for learning, and on and on and on.
After a prolonged and public contract dispute, followed by 2 more years of more than 8% budget increases, BCONT worries the progress made in recent years will be wiped out.
And this budget takes a step back and kills any momentum that was made to improving the experiences of students in schools across the province.
We continue to make significant investments into education. It's a priority for this government, and it will continue to be.
Another round of bargaining between the province and teachers is scheduled this spring, and we'll have to wait to see how this budget will affect negotiations. Keenan Sorakan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
With the new provincial budget announced yesterday, many are wondering what it means for plans of a new hospital in Yorkton. Regina has the reaction.
Yorkton's been hoping for a new hospital for over a decade, and with the new provincial budget announced on Wednesday, the city could get closer to this dream.
Often what we've found as we find our way through that pre-design and needs assessment is that with additional people living in Saskatchewan, healthcare needs changing over the last number of years, that the services that we are offering need to be expanded.
The Yorkton Regional Health Centre is part of the new provincial budget for 2026 and 27, with the government dedicating $3.5 million to ongoing planning for major healthcare projects, including the health centre for the city.
The Yorkton Hospital very much is a commitment of this government, and we were going to find our way through that process, and we're going to build that hospital.
The executive director of the Health Foundation is welcoming the announcement.
Like the announcement today to move the hospital forward with right through the business case into the design stage for the hospital. It's very good for the community. We've been waiting for that for a while, so light at the end of the tunnel. We're happy to see that happen.
But the NDP says the province isn't moving fast enough.
We're very concerned as to why this is taking so long for this hospital project to move past the pre-design, especially when full design plans were completed back in 2012 and were presented to the community through various town halls.
While preparatory documents regarding the facility remain classified, the government says it is working with stakeholders to deliver on their promise.
Now we're in ongoing engagement with both the Healthcare Foundation of East Central Saskatchewan as well as the City of Yorkton. Making sure that we really get the right scope for the project in terms of what the needs are going to be of the residents of East Central Saskatchewan.
For now, the budget signals intent, but the residents of Yorkton will have to wait to see any tangible progress. Regina, CTV News, Yorkton.
Saskatchewan's Farm Stress Line is merging with the National Farmer Crisis Line ahead of the coming growing season. Operation of the Farm Stress Line, previously handled by Mobile Crisis Services, will go to the Sask Ag Matters Mental Health Network. The organization will be getting $200,000 in provincial funding as a result. Farmers will still have access to free round-the-clock confidential mental health supports, and Sask Ag Matters says it's ready to take on the responsibility.
We are very excited about this endeavor and this collaboration between the Ministry of Agriculture and our current government, and kind of reaching out and providing agricultural mental health services.
The Farm Stress Line was founded in 1992 by the Ministry of Agriculture, supporting farmers and ranchers throughout difficult times. The transition is effective April the 1st. And the provincial budget is providing a slight increase to help fight wildfires this year. As Jasmine Pelche reports, some were hoping to see more commitment to prevention and firefighter retention.
Summer 2025 was an extreme wildfire season for Saskatchewan, with thousands forced to evacuate their communities. The new provincial budget earmarks an extra $20 million for a total $140 million for the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency.
It's essentially a bit of a status quo with an increase. There's another new plane coming online, water bomber coming online, so there's an increase in that regard. But hopefully we don't have the kind of year we did last year, but if we did, we will, no doubt, we will respond.
The province says the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency will receive additional funding as part of a 4-year commitment to purchase 4 repurposed land-based air tanker aircraft. The volunteer first responders tax credit will double from $3,000 to $6,000 in the 2026-27 budget. The Prince Albert Grand Council Forestry and Protective Services says it's good to see the volunteer first responders tax credit increase, but it was hoping to see more of a commitment to preparedness, prevention, and firefighter retention. The NDP says it wants the province to work with northern community members on wildfire management to help avoid destruction like that caused by last year's fires.
The north is full of people that are land users, people that knows that land, and I think that, to have their input on what takes place as a part of this fire management strategy, I think is important to have their input in it.
CTV reached out to the province but did not hear back by time of broadcast. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Still ahead, Iranian attacks on Middle Eastern oil sites is causing major concern in the energy sector. And RCMP say India is not currently conducting foreign interference in Canada.
Lured by lies, trapping Canadians.
She's a 19-year-old girl.
W5 uncovers a crime syndicate hunting for traffickers.
They just asked me to find people for them.
Watch W5 Saturday at 7 on CTV and Crave.
Members of the Saskatchewan legislature are looking for ways to keep a controversial group from returning to the village of Richmound. It comes after charges against group leader Romana Didulo were stayed this week by Crown prosecutors. Wayne Mantika has more.
It took a police raid last fall and the laying of charges to force a group out of a former school building in Richmound. The leader of the so-called Kingdom of Canada was charged with failure to comply with an undertaking and intimidation of a justice system participant. Those charges were stayed by the Crown this week.
We respect the independence of public prosecutions to do their work and evaluate their case and the strength of their case, and if there's no reasonable likelihood of conviction, it's not uncommon for them to direct a stay of proceedings.
Group leader Romana Didulo has appeared on social media suggesting charges against her were stayed for fear of a charter challenge.
So they say, okay, before she has the opportunity to file the charter challenge, we'll stay the case. Right? But the damage has been done on my part as far as being unfairly treated.
Attention at the legislature has turned to finding ways to prevent the group from returning to Richmound.
Put a restraining order against the individual in question and the follower and her followers. That is a viable option. It's not necessarily ideal, but I do think something like that and other efforts can be done.
The group's former home in Richmound now sits vacant.
We certainly encourage the community to look at some of the resources and the tools that we've put in place with the Safer Communities and Neighborhoods legislation that specifically targets and helps communities address the problem of nuisance properties.
The government says the former school building in Richmound remains under a public health order and will remain vacant until it is brought up to standard. It is not known when a decision might be made about its long-term future. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Sticking with the Ministry of Justice, Saskatchewan wants to reduce court backlogs by hiring more staff and modernizing court systems. CTV's Laura Woodward has more on the push to cut courtroom delays.
The province is spending about $2 million less on Saskatchewan's Ministry of Justice. The budget allocates $269 million, a drop of nearly 1% from last year. It comes as courts continue to face backlogs, with some high-profile Saskatoon cases taking years to reach a verdict. Most notably, an impaired driving case involving the death of a 9-year-old girl, which was stayed due to delays. Despite the slight drop in funding, the Justice Minister says improvements are coming, with new hires and technology upgrades.
I'm quite excited that we're able to continue to address the capacity pressures on our court system. We're adding 3 more provincial court judges. We've got 4 associate judge positions that are being created for the Court of King's Bench, and further expanding the the IT infrastructure for our e-court at the Court of Appeal, as well as the case management system within the Court of King's Bench.
The province also plans to add 2 new Crown prosecutors, as well as 6 new justices of the peace. Lawyers say the new positions are a step in the right direction.
I would have liked to see a corresponding increase in legal aid staff positions. They're equally strapped for resources, but I think overall it's good.
The justice system relies on multiple players, including lawyers and judges, all working together.
And you can really only move as fast as all the actors can move together. So when one actor, legal aid in particular, seems to be significantly underfunded year after year, that will prevent them from being able to speed up their processes.
The Saskatchewan Trial Lawyers Association supports the new hires and says it will be watching closely, monitoring the impact on court access. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Gas prices for Canadians showed no signs of coming down today, and they skyrocketed for drivers in Europe after Iranian strikes on key pieces of energy infrastructure in the Middle East. CTV's Heather Wright is following developments on the war from Dubai.
An explosion near a Saudi Aramco site in Riyadh lit up the night sky, one of several sites targeted by Iran, as this war spreads to energy sites in the Gulf. Iran is retaliating for a strike that hit its South Pars facility on Wednesday. Attacks were reported in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and in the United Arab Emirates. The attacks on energy infrastructure have rattled markets and are leading to concerns about disruption to the global supply chain, with energy prices jumping 10% this morning.
Will backfire politically.
Today, foreign ministers from a number of Middle Eastern countries met in the Saudi capital. So far, they have not responded militarily to Iran's attacks, but warned that could change.
As we have stated quite clearly, we have reserved the right to take military actions if deemed necessary.
Here in Dubai, warning alarms go off daily, with the vast majority of missile and drone attacks successfully intercepted. Work at construction sites continues, and there is little mention of what is generally referred to as the current situation.
We're here in the spice souk, which is normally pretty busy, and it's relatively quiet today, partially due to Ramadan, but also the government has asked people to work from home, and school has moved online.
As Ramadan ends, all outdoor prayers for Eid al-Fitr have moved inside for safety, many bracing for what could be a lengthy conflict.
This war has really gone from a short, sharp Venezuelan in and out to it could be this decade's version of a quagmire for the United States, again, just a la Iraq, Afghanistan, but this one's actually got more impacts because it's economic.
In Lebanon, Israel stepped up its attacks on Beirut as it expanded its ground invasion against Hezbollah, the Iran-backed militant group that operates out of the southern part of the country. Lebanon says the death toll has now climbed past 1,000, with an estimated 1 million people internally displaced. Today, Lebanon's prime minister said his country did not want this war and is asking for negotiations with Israel to end it. As countries grapple with skyrocketing energy prices, there are also concerns this conflict could soon impact the global supply chain. Aid groups are already sounding the alarm about vital relief unable to get to countries like Afghanistan and Sudan. Heather Wright, CTV News, Dubai.
The RCMP commissioner says there is no evidence to suggest India is currently conducting any foreign interference in Canada. He made those comments in an exclusive interview with CTV News Today. CTV's Abigail Biman reports.
The drumbeat of foreign interference followed the Prime Minister during his trip to India, where he touted billions of dollars in deals with the country and invited Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Canada. Right before he left Canada, a government official said India was no longer involved in foreign interference. A claim that saw pushback from the intelligence community, 6 in Canada who say they are still targets of violence, and eventually, while taking questions after leaving India, from Carney himself.
I would not use those words. Okay.
Now, in an exclusive interview on CTV's Power Play, the RCMP commissioner backs up the original comments.
In the files that we have that involves transnational repression, we're not seeing any connection right now with any foreign entity.
based on the criminal information, the investigation that we have presently.
Mike Duham told Vashi Kapelos more than once there currently is not evidence of transnational repression by the Indian government in Canada.
We have people that are intimidating people, harassing people, but connecting the dots to a foreign entity, regardless of the country, we don't have that.
While India's High Commissioner to Canada told us in Mumbai it was never happening in the first place.
I've been telling from the very beginning, it's a problem Canada has to resolve itself. I'm just saying it's not a question of no longer. It was a never happened.
Canada's spy agency has called India one of the main perpetrators of foreign interference and espionage, according to its most recent annual report. During the Prime Minister's trip, CSIS doubled down on that, saying its threat assessment has not changed. CTV News has asked again, in light of this new interview, whether India is still considered a main perpetrator. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Coming up, satisfying ice cream fans for 70 years. Regina's Milky Way opens the doors for a milestone season.
The Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame is preparing to open a brand new exhibit. Friday on Your Morning, we'll take you to the hall to show off some of these incredible jerseys that they've amassed.
Hello. Fortunately, or perhaps unfortunately for some, I made bail and I got out of jail and bail. Let's take a look at your forecast heading into, well, approaching the weekend quite quickly. Today was a beautiful day for not just Regina, many parts of southern Saskatchewan. However, as I mentioned earlier, we did still see cooler temperatures and cooler conditions in other parts of the province. I'll show you more about that coming up in the radar and the tracker here. But currently we're sitting at 8 degrees in the Regina area. Winds just under 15 kilometers an hour. It did warm up to about 13, 14 degrees late this afternoon. So we didn't have to really worry much about active weather if we take a look at the radar satellite. For most of southern Saskatchewan, we saw mainly sunny conditions, but there was a band of precipitation starting to make its way into central Saskatchewan. Earlier today, we did see some freezing rain warnings issued for parts of central northern Saskatchewan as well. Those have all lifted, but we will possibly see the return of freezing rain and even some snow in the mix heading into the weekend. But it looks like, for the most part, staying in central northern Saskatchewan. Southern Saskatchewan won't be completely clear of the precipitation. I'll show you that now. And most of it is also arriving overnight. So we did see a little bit of that freezing rain clipping through parts of Saskatoon, Wynyard, even down into the Parkland, not really getting further south of that area. And then as we start your day Friday, we'll be left with mostly cloudy conditions. And then there's another band of precipitation coming in Friday night. And as you can see, again, staying even more so north of the Saskatoon area, bringing snow through many parts of that area. So Lloydminster, Prince Albert, Hudson Bay, expecting to see quite a bit of snow because this system starts Friday evening, continues throughout the entire overnight into Saturday morning. And yes, we did also see a little clip of that freezing rain and rain mixture coming through parts just south of the Yorkton area and may make its way through parts of Regina as well. But it's a quick moving system for that. The snow continuing to stick around, and you'll see that even into about Saturday afternoon until it completely clears out through parts of the Parkland there. Into Sunday, expecting snow in the southwest. Sunday morning, seeing a little pocket there. This is what we're expecting for snowfall total. So between now into about Saturday morning, you can see exactly where that band of snow is coming. We're going to see up to about 15, 16 centimeters for North Battleford, Lloydminster. Yorkton could see up to 11 centimeters, but this is also taking into account some of the mixed precipitation that we're also seeing coming through. So I do actually have the map showing rainfall totals as well. So it's mixed precipitation, but you can also see again where that band of the snow and rain is coming through Lloydminster, North Battleford. Yorkton could see up to about 3 millimeters of rain, and then even south Maple Creek, Regina, Moose Jaw seeing up to about 1 millimeter of rain between now and to Sunday afternoon. So southern Saskatchewan not really dealing with too much when it comes to precipitation and temperatures. It is March. I know spring arrives tomorrow, but we will see those temperatures a little cooler than what we experienced over the last couple of days. Still above zero. Lloydminster 1-3 for Prince Albert, Saskatoon, Yorkton, North Battleford, all 3 degrees. 21 for Maple Creek tomorrow, 16 for Swift Current, 11 for Moose Jaw, the southeast. Again, we're still in the mid-teens there. Cloudy conditions expected, including right here in Regina. 2 degrees tonight, calm winds, well, not too bad, up to about 15 kilometers an hour. Tomorrow, 9 degrees, mostly sunny. And again, tomorrow, first day of spring, starts at 8:46 tomorrow morning. 2 degrees on Saturday. We're going to see cloudy conditions there. So the temperatures are still remaining above zero and not too bad. 3 degrees, mainly sunny on Sunday. I do want to get to next Wednesday real quick. So 5 mainly sunny, Tuesday 3, and by Wednesday, as of right now, it looks like we've got some really high wind gusts expected on Wednesday. 9 degrees is the expected high, and I'm not leaving out the 7th day. Thursday is a very important day of the 7-day forecast. -3, mainly sunny is what we're expecting. So a little cooler than seasonal by next Thursday. But things do also change between now and the 7th day, just like life. Anything can happen, Lee.
Anything can happen, Sabine, especially on live television.
Correct. I do need to give a quick shout out to Norbert, Darren, and Jane, who came by my little jail cell this morning and helped bail me out.
Excellent. So we'll talk about that and also the fundraiser a little later on in the show.
Thanks, Lee.
As the snow melts across Saskatchewan, ice cream season is just right around the corner. And there is plenty of year-round establishments for sure, but the seasonal stores are opening their doors, including one of the oldest in Regina, marking a milestone. Damian Smith won the rock, paper, scissors contest and files this story.
With double-digit weather hitting Regina, it's a perfect day to kick off year 70 of Milky Way ice cream. Customers lining up at 11 a.m. to be first to grab a sweet treat from the shop in 2026.
They're all great, very great.
Sandra Diener has been coming to the Milky Way since 1967.
In the summer, I walk around and I pick up garbage and all around the back alleys here too. I even came here when they opened in December. Got some ice cream.
The shop typically opens around the first day of spring and closes on the Sunday of Canadian Thanksgiving.
Honestly, it's the nostalgia.
70 years in, Lewis is looking to expand the brand. This past December, the shop opened for a few days ahead of the holidays and has also started selling their signature soft serve and cakes in stores around the city.
Redoing signs, redoing packaging, really taking a beautiful nostalgic space and bringing it into a little bit more of a modern look as well.
Darren Bolt's family bought the business back in 1981.
I started in grade 9 working here, and 45 years later, myself and my brother and sister and my 2 cousins are now taking over the family business.
Located at the intersection of Victoria Ave and Winnipeg Street, the landmark, sporting its 50s style colors, has never moved locations.
Not a lot of businesses in Regina have stood the test of time like that.
Year after year, customers, old and new, keep coming back for more.
I got my favorite maple walnut sundae, and it was great, so I've been here almost every week since. I got a strawberry yogurt.
I think there's just something about the Milky Way that it's timeless.
Here's to another 70 years of ice cream at the Milky Way. Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Still ahead, the Weyburn Red Wings feel a rash of injuries earlier this year will benefit their depth heading into the SJHL playoffs. Quest for a WHL playoff spot got a lot harder for the Moose Jaw Warriors.
Power play in this game is a good knockdown by Hamilton to the right wing. Sopiar shoots, he scores.
Red Deer Rebels beat the Lethbridge Hurricanes last night 4-3. That moves Moose Jaw 3 points out of a playoff spot with 2 games to go. The Warriors play Swift Current twice to end the season. They're going to likely have to get 2 wins there, and they need Medicine Hat to beat Red Deer twice. As for Regina, well, they still got to get a playoff spot. They need 1 single point against Brandon to secure their spot. SJHL playoffs, the Weyburn Red Wings are hoping to build off of last year's appearance in the final. They'll face the Nipawin Hawks starting Friday in Nipawin after finishing the regular season as the 5th seed. The Wings like their depth heading into the series after some of their younger players were forced to take on bigger roles.
It's pretty exciting to see some of the young guys step up. They've been coming around here lately with the injuries we've had, and they've played a lot more minutes. And so, now that we're getting healthy again, our depth is pretty good when you look at the guys playing in the bottom part of the lineup and, how much they've developed over the last couple months here. And so we're excited to just see those guys take that step.
The Wings won the season series against Nipawin 3-1, although the Hawks do have a strong home ice advantage. Nipawin has the second best home record in the SJHL behind Flin Flon, although they did lose to Weyburn at home earlier this season.
They're a good team that can skate, and we know their back pressure is going to be good, and we know their forward group and score, and we're going to make sure that we take care of what we can control, and without giving you too much, we're excited for the weekend to start.
Yeah, I can't give up to the structure secrets. Game 1 goes Friday night in Nipawin at 7 o'clock. A former LA Ram and Detroit Lion is joining the Saskatchewan Roughriders. 27-year-old defensive back Juju Hughes signed with the Rams as an undrafted free agent in 2020. He spent 2 seasons with the team before moving on to the Lions. He then spent time in the United Football League after a training camp stint with the Arizona Cardinals. Hughes and wide receiver Keyshawn Johnson were teammates in college. Still ahead, a U of R professor raises power concerns about the AI data center.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at your rural forecast heading into tomorrow. Cooler temperatures for many, and then again, similar to what we were seeing on the map, this is basically the exact area that we're going to see that system bringing in the snow and mixed precipitation with the rain and freezing rain. So that's what we're going to see heading into tomorrow. Temperatures cooler than what we have been seeing over the last couple of days. 1 degree for Lloydminster, Spiritwood seeing snow, a little heavier snowfall in the Lloydminster area. There's 6 and cloudy for Kindersley, 7 and cloudy for Outlook, and mixed precipitation for Watrous, seeing rain and snow, 3 degrees there, 3 in snow for Wynyard, 2 in snow for Melfort. This is not sounding like a great first day of spring for many parts of the province tomorrow. Cloudy and 3 degrees for Hudson Bay. Closer to the southern border, though, much warmer temperatures. 21 and cloudy for Maple Creek, 20 for Coronach, 18 for East End Cypress and Rock Glen, 6 for Rosetown, 9 for Lumsden, Pilot Butte, seeing mainly cloudy conditions. 12 and cloudy for Carlisle, Kenora, 3 degrees and cloudy. And a closer look at Norquay tomorrow. 4 degrees is the expected daytime high with a wind chill of 3 degrees. Seeing mixed precipitation throughout the day, but heading into the evening, the temperature will drop to -6 with a wind chill of -14 and could see up to about 5 centimeters of snow by tomorrow night.
With the announcement this week that Bell is building an artificial intelligence data center just outside Regina, some people are raising concerns over how much power it will use and if it will result in bigger power rate hikes. Jacob Carr investigates.
The 300-megawatt AI data center being built by Bell Canada in the RM of Sherwood is raising some questions.
How is it going to impact our electricity? So if there's shortages at some point, if there's brownouts, are those facilities going to get prioritized over residents, for example?
According to an emailed statement from SaskPower, the Crown Corporation said its current generation capacity can support the first tranche of power needed this year, and new generation is scheduled to come online by 2027. SaskPower says the 300 megawatts required to run the data center is approximately 5% of the 6,000 megawatt total grid capacity in the province, and that the new generation of power will come from a mixture of natural gas, wind, and solar. CTV News also reached out to Sask Energy, which said it is developing natural gas infrastructure to serve Bell's on-site gas-fired power generation, including a new high-pressure pipeline and a high-volume meter station to support peak base load and backup power needs. Premier Scott Moe says the building of the data center will offer a new option for prospective workers.
Traditionally a provider of developing the natural resources that we have in mining, oil production, and of course agriculture. This is new for our province, and I think it's significant in diversifying our jobs and our opportunity as Saskatchewan and Regina residents.
But McQuinn still has some concerns about costs to residents down the line.
Investing $1.7 billion into the province is never a bad thing. And is the cost to the province going to be, and not to the province, but to the average person in Regina or the average person in Saskatchewan, are they going to be paying for large portions of that because of the electricity?
Construction of the data center being built by Bell, which owns CTV, is scheduled to start this spring. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
For those living with a common but often overlooked neurological condition, there's new hope. A Saskatoon woman is turning her own diagnosis into support for others across Canada. Carla Shinkrook explains.
At her computer in Saskatoon, Kim Lamarant is building something she wished she had a year ago when she was diagnosed with functional neurological disorder, or FND.
It's where the brain signals get mixed up, so they don't receive or send out the signals properly.
The condition affects movement, sensory function, and the nervous system, but treatment options remain limited.
I was diagnosed and basically just sent on my way. It was scary and isolating.
The unpredictability of flare-ups forced Lamarant to leave her job, so she got to work launching Healing Horizons for Functional Neurological Disorder, a Saskatchewan-based nonprofit. The primarily online platform offers peer support and practical resources for those living with FND.
Coping menus, so there's a lot for grounding and how to deal with your flare-ups.
Clinical psychologist Dr. Tyson Sawchuk from the University of Calgary says this kind of support is badly needed.
This is important because there are no clinical care pathways in Canada for treating this, and this is the case in many countries.
He's already referring patients to the site, hoping it helps fill critical gaps in care.
So these patients really they have a struggle to cobble together their treatment.
He says increasing awareness now could improve outcomes in the future. Back at home, Lamarant continues managing her condition while building a growing community.
I already have a couple of clinicians that I am speaking to. They want to collaborate in research. I have volunteers already reaching out.
The site has only been live for a month, but interest is already building. Healing Horizons is expected to launch its first Saskatchewan-based support group later this year. Carla Shinkrook, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Canola street price is up 70 cents to $657.33 per ton, while the futures price is up $1.70 to $728.30 per ton. Amber Durum wheat stays the same, $278.59 per ton. Red spring wheat is up $3.96 to $277.44 per ton. Feed barley, $232.01 per ton, while flax is $670.54 per ton. Those prices courtesy of Bunge. The markets both going down. The TSX by 616 points, the Dow Jones by 768 points. The dollar jumped up very slightly, just 1/100th of a cent to 72.80 cents U.S. Commodities, gold down $187.11. West Texas Intermediate crude up 11 cents, while Western Canadian Select crude went up $1.41. Gas in Regina, has been there any movement there? Nope, still sitting the same at $1.62.9 per liter. Coming up tonight after the newscast, we've got Next Level Chef at 7 o'clock, followed by 911 Nashville, where I think Sabine gets arrested in Nashville. 9 o'clock, Grey's Anatomy, Big Bang Theory at 10. Sabine was right, only one tonight.
I won.
E-Talk, and then we have our national news at 11, 11:30, local news. All right, this might be a little boring compared to last night, but... Regina Crimestoppers jail and bail fundraiser was held at the Cornwall Centre today.
Please help me make bail.
Community leaders like our own boss here, JC Garden, and local celebrities were locked up and challenged to raise bail through donations going towards Crimestoppers, of course. And I was among, well, you all witnessed it.
You were publicly arrested.
You all witnessed it. JC was taken this morning, and Chase from Pure Country was also taken this morning. So him and I shared a jail cell earlier this morning, raising money / our bail money to get out. And you know what? It was a great event. It was a lot of fun. I do need to just clear the air. Oh.
The money today will probably go towards tips. Last year we awarded $18,000 in tips. We had over 932 tips called in, and we're just wanting to make sure that Regina Crimestoppers is sustainable for years to come. So we want to make sure that we have the money to pay for those tips. Any money that's not needed for tips, of course, will go to education and community outreach.
Not a real arrest. Okay, there we are. I feel like this is a perfect time to clear the air. Yes, I was hauled away last night, and I did not think there would be so many comments and concerns. My family knew this was happening. They were not, they knew. My mom was laughing, watching the whole thing. I knew it was happening. We all knew it was happening. And it was not a real arrest.
Nobody told me.
Okay.
Shocking.
God.